78,000 jobs in February, much higher than the 400,000 or so expected. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger. The hiring was widespread across different sectors. We saw a gain of 179,000 in leisure and hospitality, professional and business services up 95,000, healthcare and construction both adding more than 60,000. Unemployment was down from 4% to 3.8%. It's the last report before the Fed is expected to raise interest rates. In Ukraine, officials say the fire is out at Europe's largest nuclear plant after it was attacked by Russian forces. International monitors report no sign of a radiation leak. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky through an interpreter.
Russian people, I want to appeal to you. How is this possible? We fought to get that in 1986 against the Chernobyl catastrophe consequences.
His advisor says Zelensky will not make any concessions that will humiliate Ukrainians in their fight for territorial integrity. Russian forces continue to bomb cities across Ukraine. Several explosions have just gone off in Kyiv. As of yesterday, more than 1 million people had fled Ukraine. Each day, more than 100,000 follow in their footsteps. Rabbi Yehuda Teichtel says hundreds are arriving daily in Berlin.
We have set up apartments for the people, giving out food packages every day.
The Biden administration is offering temporary protection for Ukrainian refugees in the U.S. for up to 18 months. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is in Washington.
Finland's president is coming here to the White House to meet with President Biden. You might think, why is that important? Well, Finland historically has stayed out of NATO and tried to remain neutral across Europe, not to upset its next-door neighbor, Russia. But a poll in Finland this week found now a majority of people there believe military alliance, just a sign of how alliances and politics formed as this conflict begins.
Lawmakers in Florida following in Mississippi's footsteps.
Lawmakers in the Florida Senate have voted to ban abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Republican Kelly Stargell sponsored the legislation.
These are children, and if we're not going to protect them, who will? And if not our laws, then what?
There are no exceptions for rape or incest. Democratic Senator Linda Stewart.
I don't think us not making an exception to incest and rape keeps our children and women safe.
Florida currently allows abortions up to 24 weeks of pregnancy. CBS News.
S&P futures down 37. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Annette Glenn believes defunding police is radical and dangerous. Michigan's murder rate, 14th highest in the nation. Violent crime, above the national average. Annette Glenn backed more funding for police to keep us safe. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Tuesday, March 8th at the Bay Valley Resort. 5:50 and stop smoking seminar at 8 p.m. For more info, go to markpatrickseminars.com.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has always known. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. Their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cut. Make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News. It's 23 degrees at 9:05. Good morning. I'm Dave Maurer. Police in Midland are investigating the death of a 26-year-old woman. They were sent to the 200 block of Redwood Circle just before, where they discovered the body of the woman who was earlier reported missing by a family member. Police were able to determine a suspect in her death, a 34-year-old Bay City man. A search warrant was served at the address for the man, but police found him dead as well, believed to be from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Anyone with information about either incident is asked to call 989-631-4244. That's the Midland Police Department Detective Bureau. Congressman Dan Kildee has introduced a bipartisan bill to restore retirement benefits to over 20,000 Delphi salaried retirees. The U.S. Pension Benefit Guarantee benefits by as much as 70% after General Motors filed for bankruptcy during the Great Recession. Kildee was joined by colleagues on both sides of the aisle in announcing the legislation.
We don't always agree on everything here in this town, but I'm glad we came together on this because we're going to do everything we can to do what's right for the Delphi salaried retirees. It's been a long time coming, and I appreciate this partnership.
The legislation is named the Susan Muffley Act after the wife of a Delphi retiree who was active in pension restoration efforts. She died of pancreatic cancer in 2012 after having delayed seeing a doctor due to financial difficulties brought. Kildee said if it passes, the bill would make up the difference between the pension benefits earned by Delphi salaried retirees and what they receive following the GM bankruptcy in 2009, plus 6% in a lump sum payment. They would then receive their full benefit amount moving forward. WSGW News Time is 9:07.
Rock and roll legends Roy Orbison and Buddy Holly return to the stage on March 6th at Midland Center for the Arts. Accompanied by a live band and backup singers, this cutting-edge holographic performance with remastered audio will transport the audience back in time for an unforgettable evening of Roy and Buddy's greatest hits on stage. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime show. Tickets are on sale now at midlandcenter.org.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
WSGW News Time 9:08. Gas prices are hitting prices not seen in years, with some paying close to $4 per gallon across Metro Detroit. Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, says a pandemic, not politicians or presidents, are to blame for the steep prices.
Americans obviously stayed home. The first part of the pandemic, because of lockdown orders, restrictions, offices closed, schools closed, so they didn't really have much of a choice. That caused energy prices to plummet. Demand for energy crashed. And as a result, oil companies.
DeHaan says the U.S. needs to shut off oil supplies from Russia, which might spike prices in the near term, but he says it would be good for the country long term. The impact of Russia's invasion of Ukraine is being felt in European auto plants. Details from MNN's Jeff Gilbert.
BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen cutting shifts and halting production at plants in Europe. Nissan saying it may soon have to join them. One problem that are made in Ukraine. Another is the disruption of parts transportation due to the war. Meanwhile, more car makers are stopping sales in Russia, in some cases due to solidarity with Ukraine, in others it's directly related to sanctions.
Americans are being asked to go 24 hours without screen time today. It's called the National Day of Unplugging. David Rosenberg, a chair of the Department of Psychiatry at Wayne State University, says taking a break from your digital devices may be an insightful experience.
Our data shows that if you fast for 2 weeks, you can actually reverse many of the brain abnormalities we see with excessive use. And I think it's a good way to determine if you're in control, you're the master of your digital devices, or have the digital devices become the master.
Rosenberg says some of the changes seen in the brains of those who use digital devices excessively are similar to people who abuse drugs and have gambling addictions. There were Ukrainian people last night in downtown Grand Rapids. Nearly 100 people gathered outside the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum. Many have family in Ukraine and are calling for the U.S. to grant Ukrainians refugee status and create a no-fly zone. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology. Sunny forward today. Highs will top out near 37 degrees. Winds southwest around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Lows drop to 30. Winds turn to the east-southeast, 5 to 10. Saturday, it remains mostly into the lower to middle 50s. Winds stay east-southeast, 5 to 15. Higher gusts possible. Saturday night, breezy. Rain showers develop or build into the area after midnight. Lows fall back to 44. Looking into Sunday, mainly cloudy and windy. Highs reach 58. And a chance for snow showers developing late Sunday night. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology forecast.
Right now it's 20.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning and welcome. End of the week Friday. Here we are, another day on the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. Brought to you by Linda Shepherd at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713. We'll get Linda working for your real estate needs. Or stop in and see her at The Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township, where you'll also find Cafe 476, their delicious soups, foods, and beverages. For today, later on after the 10 o'clock news, Henry Reyna is going to join us, talk a little bit about Habitat for Humanity and some other issues. At 11 o'clock, the Field and Stream Club in Saginaw will be the subject of focus. But for this hour, it's open phones. So whatever is on your mind, whatever you'd like to talk about, in the news, not in the news, doesn't matter. Give us a call, and we'll be happy to chat with you on the Art Lewis Show. In the meantime, in the world, brutal tactics. Russia is gaining ground in the Ukraine. Not a surprise. I mean, with the superior force they have, nothing new there. I think the Ukrainians have done an amazing job of stalling the Russians out more than the Russians expected. But the Russians are being indiscriminate. Vladimir Putin said they're not targeting civilians. But look at the death count and look at the apartment buildings that have been devastated by missiles. And that tells the story. The next item of recklessness was the attack on a nuclear plant. Fortunately, the Ukrainians were able to put out the fire and there was no leakage of radiation. But, it could have been a disaster like Chernobyl. It's amazing. The Russians just have no qualms. No qualms whatsoever. But the other side of the story, and we have to talk about the sanctions placed on Russia and the oligarchs, Putin and all of that. There is speculation that Russia's economy might collapse in the not too distant future. They're fighting, obviously, a war, but they're also fighting economic war. And the Russian economy is in danger of collapse. It would be a lot faster if we cut them off at their feet and pull the energy rug out from under them. I do not understand this. Jen Psaki the other day, the press secretary for the president, she was asked about us buying oil from Russia, and her kind of smart aleck response was, oh, it's only about 10% of what we use, and it actually is probably not even that. So that's an excuse why we should keep buying it, because it's not much of what we buy. Well, at last count, we had reduced the purchase. We used to buy about 800,000 barrels, and in December, I think it was, or January, it was down to 405,000 barrels of oil. That's still a lot of money, helping Putin finance his war. I do not understand it. And at the same time that we're buying oil from Russia, we've clamped down on the production of oil in this country. Makes no sense. We could be totally energy independent, totally, and be a supplier as we were for a while, and not have to depend on Russian oil. Of all the things, we sit here and we sanction Russia economically. We cut off their banks. We cut them off from the world finance system. That's with the left hand. With the right hand, here's payment for your oil. Somebody has to explain that to me. I do not understand it and won't understand it. Yeah, I understand that it would be pain at the pump. Well, we're already getting pain at the pump. It's pushing close to $4 now. So if it means it's going to cost us another dime or two, so be it. I'm willing to pay that. I'm not willing to hand Russia money. So we'll have to see where it goes, but I shake my head at how we can talk out of both sides of our mouths at the same time. Now, I will say that we have managed to coalesce Europe and some of the other countries, Scandinavian countries, into a solid block of support. That is a good thing. And I mean, quite literally, Europe has a lot more to lose than we do, because Putin, will he stop at the Ukrainian border after he takes Ukraine? Who knows? And Europe has reason to be concerned. But this whole situation is just, to me, I look at it as a madman at work. And make no mistake about it, Putin is a sly dog. I don't think he expected quite the reaction he's received, nor quite the resistance the Ukrainians put up initially. But he knew what he's doing. He had a plan. He had a strategy. He knew exactly what he was doing, at the same time denying it to the world. And today we see what happens when you have a leader like that. When Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, we were up in arms, literally up in arms. The difference here is a military fight with Putin would be World War III. And I don't think anybody wants that. So consequently, you see the restraint in sending U.S. troops into Ukraine, sending warplanes over Ukraine. No one wants a face-to-face military confrontation because of its potential to the world. The world's not ready for that again. Shouldn't be. So we have to find the sanction route to totally isolate Russia and bury their economy, because then maybe the people of Russia would rise up. Now, When they do it in little protests right now, it's easy for the Russians to shut them down. But if you have a whole country up in arms, then it's not so easy. So the tighter we can draw the noose, the better it will be for everyone. And stop buying their oil. All right, lines are open for you. It's an open line edition on this Friday. Whatever you want to talk about, you can give us a call, Saginaw, Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free, 866-790-WA. Oh, don't forget that one. That's gone. I forgot. 989-752-6111. That's the number to use.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated, and divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone, but you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while others hey, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Global investors are looking at crude oil prices at the highest level since 2008 because of expected disruptions caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And there's an encouraging update on the job market. There were 215,000 people filing for unemployment time last week, a decline. The number of continuing claims, those still receiving benefits, rose slightly to 1.4 million. The Labor Department releases the February employment report tomorrow. Mercedes-Benz Group and Volkswagen are stopping exports of vehicles to Russia. Both say they will stop production of cars there until further notice. BJ's Wholesale Club is reporting a mixed quarter. Its sales increased, but not as much as Wall Street was expecting. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Any supplier can drop a box outside your door. But if you want a partner who delivers great customer service too, rely on Cintas. Your dedicated service reps can deliver what you need to help your business run smoothly. From essential cleaning products to hygienically cleaned apparel, fire protection services to first aid and safety supplies. That service you can't get from a box.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Check out the WSGW Sports Broadcast page on WSG. When and which WSGW station you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football? Click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com.
All right, we're back here on WSGW, the Art and Lewis Show. And let's get to our phones. Corky is waiting for us. Corky, good morning. Corky, are you there?
No. Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
With all the trauma going on in the world, I came across a really good story, and also agrees with President Biden's idea of what maternal health is. You know, he thinks abortion is. But anyhow, here's the headline, and I'll just touch on the main points. The headline says, "Unborn baby partially removed from womb for heart surgery, placed back, born 10 weeks later." Now, this happened just last year in May at the Cleveland Clinic, and the baby was just a little over 6 months along, and he had a tumor on his heart that kept growing, so they had to do surgery.
It's amazing.
And it's amazing. And one of the pictures shows his little arm. The doctor was injecting them through his vein, and to fight infection. That, but anyhow. So they removed the tumor and then placed the baby back in the womb. And the surgery was 3.5 hours, by the way. And then they took the baby out by cesarean 10 weeks later in July. And that baby is healthy, wonderful. And if the picture, I wish people could go to the website, the EPIC, and it shows a picture of this baby before it was born. How anyone can support abortion, which means these babies in the womb like this are being, destroyed, and how our president can, announce that it's a great thing and it's maternal health. That is not maternal health.
Well, it's one of the great controversial issues of our time. While I may agree with you, we have to recognize there are many people that don't. I don't understand it necessarily, but that's the way it is. And until the court changes something, it's going to stay that way. Now, I noticed that there was a new, more restrictive law in Florida coming about that will limit the amount of time, the number of weeks. Going down from 20 something that they had to 15, and it's been sent to the governor, who will sign it. And there's been a number of those, but the Supreme Court has yet to rule, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but then every time there's a law like that passed in the state, then you have their groups coming out, suing them and taking them to court.
Yep.
And just one last thing before I hang up. I know it's you say it's controversial and people can't make up their minds, but Art, how difficult is it if you saw a baby being torn to shreds? Would you just stand by and watch it? How can people not realize this is what happens?
Well,
so anyhow, I know
it's and let me go back to one thing you said about every time it happens, people take them to court. That's a good thing, because eventually it's going to reach the Supreme Court, and eventually they're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So,
and hopefully they'll get off the seat.
Hopefully they'll do something. But there's no guarantees. I'm telling you right now. Don't be putting all your eggs in the basket before it happens.
Yeah, and they have to live with themselves as to what they support. Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care, Corky. Bye now. It is one of the great issues of the day. I must also admit, though, that at least as an observer, while it is still a forefront singular issue for many, many people, it has not taken the center stage prominence that it once did in elections. Now, there are many people that still vote for candidates depending on their position when it comes to the right to choose abortion and all of that. But as a forefront, center stage, this is the critical issue. It seems to me that it has lessened over the last number of years. Now, that's not to say the people that are adamant about it have changed their minds. That's not what happened. It's just that many other things have come into the news and have overshadowed it. Therefore, I believe, and this is just my personal belief, when people, for example, go to the polls in 2022 for the midterm elections, the overwhelming majority are not going to have abortion on their mind. Their pocketbook will be on their mind. Inflation, the cost of goods and services, the lack of supply of goods. These are the things that are going to be in the forefront when they pull the lever or make the line on the electronic ballot, whatever they do. Let's talk to Scott in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Hey, morning, Art. You know, after watching the coverage of Russia invasion, I can't help but think that this is one of the best things that has happened, because now they have a straw man. It's no longer Joe Biden and his debacle with our gas price, our food price, or at the border. Now it's Putin. He's the bad man. You know, there's absolutely zero coverage of the women and children, men and women running for their lives in Afghanistan. Now it's all focused here. So I think.
Well, there was coverage because you saw it. I saw it. I know there was coverage, but yeah, there's somebody else to there's somebody else to take the forefront now. Putin.
Exactly.
But that's
the Afghanistan debacle.
Well,
what's that?
You remember it. People who want to remember it will remember it.
Well, that's true, but I still kind of wonder why we don't see nothing from Afghanistan. You know, there are people there running for their lives, just like there is in Ukraine.
But but not to the degree, and you don't have Russia pounding missiles right now. Listen, Scott. Got to be realistic about these things. You know, it's one thing to have an issue and you want it to be a forefront issue, but it's another thing to recognize why there are many other things going on right now that overshadow it. I understand what you're saying, and I sympathize with the Americans that were caught in Afghanistan that didn't get out, and we need to do something about that, absolutely, but that's not the big news of the day right now. You know it, and I know it.
No, it's not. But I mean, this whole thing with Ukraine, I mean, again, in the beginning of it, Ukraine could have signed with NATO. They didn't. And so either NATO and everybody should have been 100% into this, or they should have minded their own business. And now here we are caught with our pants down, and the whole world's on end now. We're running late. We're running in backwards. The assassination of Putin. You know, I mean, this is just, you know, and then Biden says, well, nothing's off the table except war and us sending soldiers against them. You know, so yeah, it is. I think that.
Would you go to war over this? Would you go to war over this?
Would I go to? Not over these circumstances, because NATO in Ukraine didn't come to terms on anybody signing up for anything. So we really don't have any say what's going on in Ukraine right now, as far as I know. So for us to be getting involved in it, either we should have 100% said, Russia, if you go in there, we will be sent, or we should have let be what be. But instead, now here we are, we're all running backwards. Nobody's getting nothing done. Gas prices are skyrocketing. And what's our president say? Well, what can I do? What can I do?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think he should shut the spigot off, not buy Russian oil. That is so stupid. How can we put sanctions on one hand and then pay him on the other hand?
Well, that's what we got here. That's why, like I said, this is a heaven sent for this administration, because Putin right now is the bad guy.
Yeah, but this isn't going to help him in the midterms, because when people go to the polls, they're not going to vote on. As a matter of fact, this will not help him, and I'll tell you why. When people go to the polls and have to put $4 plus gasoline in their car to get there, who are they going to remember when they get to the poll? It's not going to be Putin.
Donald Trump did that. Didn't Donald Trump do that gas price? Wasn't that his fault for something? He did something somewhere that
must be his fault. Must be his fault for something. All right, Scott.
Yes.
Got to run.
All right, bye, Art.
Take care. Bye-bye now. All right, lines open for you. Give us a call. We'll get to others in just a few here on the Art Lewis Show for this Friday morning.
Spring is right around the corner. Now is the time to look around and plan those home renovations you've been waiting for. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Let our design team help you get your home ready for spring. We are excited to celebrate our 60th anniversary and want you to celebrate with us. Come check out our new flooring, window treatments, and more. Do it yourself or get quality professional installation from our very own installers. Stop into our showroom on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. Warden Interiors celebrating 60 years. We'll help you bring it.
It's been a challenging year. Asking for help can be hard, but finding it doesn't have to be. If you need help with your energy and other bills, call 211 or visit mi211.org for access to the help you need. What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
GrabPlus.com. It's time to march into fitness with this week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com from the Freeland Sports Zone. You were going to get half off of a 1-year adult membership. It's only going to be $142. You have a 1-year family membership for only $252. These deals are for new members only. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. Other companies might deliver a lot of hay. ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Wallfiles Ace Hardware in Saginaw is looking for a cashier. If you are friendly, like to work with people, and can handle money, this opportunity is for you. Experience is not necessary. You must be prompt, dependable, and willing to assist shoppers. For an opportunity to fill this rewarding position at one of this area's oldest, highly respected hardware and service shops, bring a resume and apply in person to at 5818 State Street, Saginaw, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Part-time or full. Now, Wallfiles Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, is an equal opportunity employer.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to a participating business for your Mid-Michigan home improvement by HBA of Saginaw Home and Garden Show on WSGW. Simply head online to WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and find the contest box. And when you enter, you choose the business that you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you are the winner. Businesses include Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Bay Landscaping, Thumb Bank and Trust, Roof Max, M&R Garage Doors and Openers, Premier Concrete Admixture and Air Conditioning, Maple Hill Nursery, Wallfiles Ace Hardware, Delta Door Sales, Cranes L&M Appliance, Hardtail Heating and Cooling, Vassar Building Center, A+ Plumbing and Mechanical, Members First Credit Union, Begic Nursery and Garden Center. Deadline to enter is March 25th. The Mid-Michigan Home Improvement Contest presented by HBA of Saginaw Home and Garden Show on WSGW.com.
Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. And let us go to our phones. Jerry is in Bay City. Jerry, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
I'd just like to say that I'm ashamed of the Western world and I'm ashamed of the United States in terms of its response to this. The dumbest thing I ever heard of is the first thing out of the president's mouth is we are not going to put troops in there, period. Well, okay, so we've surrendered Ukraine. And furthermore, you know, everybody's worried about this nuke threat, and I understand. But when he enters a NATO country like Lithuania, and he triggers Article 5, and all these NATO countries in the United States are going to mount up, he's still going to have nukes. So then what are we going to do?
Yeah, well, he's always had nukes. I mean, you know, it's
well, I know, but the
thing about nukes, though, the thing about nukes is that it goes back to the MAD theory, mutually assured destruction. I think he's smart enough. He's not dumb. If he ever used one of those, he knows the response would be devastating.
Well, I understand, but we keep saying we don't want to escalate.
Yeah.
Last week he said, you know, I put my
nuclear forces on high alert.
People, high alert. So, you know,
yeah,
I just don't understand what the difference is going to be.
Well, I guess
bombing the hell out of out of Ukraine, and they're not a member of NATO.
Yeah,
tomorrow if he goes into Lithuania, what's the difference?
Yeah, well, I understand, but here's the thing. I don't believe, as much as I sympathize with the Ukrainian people, I don't believe putting our boots on the ground to fight Russia would be a wise thing to do at this moment. Now, obviously, since they're not a NATO country, there's one response. But you're right. If it's a NATO country that gets attacked, everybody's going to be drawn in.
Well, and maybe not, because we're so afraid that, you know,
no, I think
there's going to be some escalation on his part.
Well, you got to look at it the other way. From Putin's standpoint, if he were to attack a NATO country and there would not be a unified response, that would be the end of NATO. He'd win all the way around.
Well, that's right.
He'd win all the way around, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I just don't understand why NATO and the United States doesn't just give them an ultimatum. Pull your people out, or we're sending our troops in. We're not going to invade Russia. We're coming into the Ukraine. We will expel you from Ukraine.
Because it's World War III. I mean, it is World War III.
Well, but it's going to be World War III if he goes into Lithuania.
Well, that's an if. This is reality today. This is right now.
Yeah.
Lithuania is a maybe. Who knows? I mean, if he does, well, listen, I think the whole thing stinks. You know, to me, I mean, I think economic sanctions, if they're done across the board by everybody, can work, but not when you're sanctioning on one hand and buying his oil on the other. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, let's not forget the most powerful economic machine on the planet is in his corner.
Yep, no doubt about that. China's right there.
So,
all right.
So, you know.
Good enough, Jerry.
Okay.
Appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thanks, Art.
Ann is in Saginaw. Ann, good morning to you.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know where to start because everything you say is just totally gobbledygook.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because you talk about sanctions helping and everything. No, it's not helping. And the thing of it is, Putin doesn't care about his people. So that's another false thought. Putin himself is not crazy, and he's been watching this. And as far as I'm concerned, Biden and this regime emboldened Russia and others by our pipelines and our oil exploration.
Oh, I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, but why? The reason they don't see that is because I think they want the same thing that Putin wants. They want total domination by the government of our people. That's the way I'm looking at it, because everything they do is hurting our people and not helping the whole thing. I think, I mean, like I said, I don't know where to start, because this whole thing is so ridiculous that Biden has shown his weakness, and Afghanistan has a lot to do with it, because it showed his total weakness, and it showed where these people are coming from. The whole and even the Pentagon representative, they've all got deer in the headlights looks about them. They know nothing.
And you know the answer, don't you?
What?
You know the answer.
What?
When you go to the polls, you know how to vote.
Yes, I know. Go to the polls, but I'm just telling you what's wrong with these people. That they come out there and right from the beginning, right from the very beginning, they don't even look like they're believing what they're saying. They come out there like they're giving a third grade assignment of memorizing a speech or something. I mean, they've got this dumb look about them, and they don't even look, like I said, like they've got any oomph what they're saying even. And who's afraid of that? I mean, do you think Putin's really scared when they come out and say, you know, what they say is, yeah, right, they really scare him.
Well, obviously
and like
not.
I said, proof is in the pudding. What Biden has done has weakened our country.
All right.
Of it.
But
and Putin's watching that, and so is China.
I understand all that, but the only answer is at the polls.
Yeah, I know, but we're talking about what's going on here.
I understand that, but that's the answer, isn't it?
A little ways away yet.
Yep.
We got to
November.
put up with him for another 3 years.
Yeah, but we can cut off his path to governing with the resumption of Republican control of the Congress.
Yeah,
So-
well,
And that you only have to wait till November for that.
yeah, well, we'll see.
All right. Good
in
enough,
the
Ann.
meanwhile,
Yep.
I think it's outrageous that an American president stands there and tells us that we have by paying higher gas prices because of this.
Yeah, well, it's been so many other things, but this hasn't. This has certainly accelerated it because the world reaction to the crisis has been the raising of the price of a barrel of oil. So it does have impact. But he's also had impact. There's no two ways about that.
Another thing I was going to say is I don't think it's helpful that we're doing this coverage 24/7 all the time, because Putin's watching that too. He's thinking, hey, I got the whole world watching this.
Yeah.
And I think we'd do a lot better if our news media would give a report a couple times a day on what's going on there. And I mean,
That's not the world we live in, Ann. We live in a social media world. We live in a world of 24-hour news cycles. That's not the world we live in.
Where they choose what they want to.
Yep, I got you. All right, I got to take a break. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. And we'll be back with more calls. Hang on, Ed. You'll be next.
Welcome to the trees. Frankenmuth Aerial Park is gearing up for the. Here's your chance to come and work in this exciting outdoor industry. For park monitors, park host, and park supervisors. These jobs range from entry-level supervisory roles and come with fantastic perks, fun people, and room to grow within the company. Click on the gold Now Hiring button and find all the specific information about these opportunities at zipandclimb.com.
Hi, I'm Ray from McGick's in Bay City. Get a jump on spring this week at McGick Nursery and Garden Center. If a new patio is in your plans, come to McGick's and learn from the professionals. See our selection of Berlin Gardens furniture, made in Ohio and exclusive to McGick's. Berlin Garden furniture is made of the highest grade, maintenance-free poly lumber. Order now and have it in time for the start of your summer season. When you step into McGick's expanded outdoor living center, you'll know that sky's the limit for inspired living just outside your door. We can help from pergolas and pavilions, Weber grills and Blackstone griddles, to fountains and fire pits at McGick's. There's nothing better than enjoying a delicious meal outside with the ones you love, especially one prepared with a Weber grill from McGick's. Get a jump on spring this weekend, where we have great Amish-made furniture and lots of colors and finished choices. We'll see you this week at McGick Nursery and Garden Center on M84, 1 mile east of I-75, west side Saginaw Road, Bay City.
With this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Batano. All after 5 of their last 7 games being played at the Dow Event Center, the Saginaw Spirit will hit the road this week when they take on the Sarnia Sting Wednesday, the Kitchener Rangers Friday, and the Owen Sound Attack on Saturday. The Spirit coming off of one of their most successful games all season, scoring a season-high 8 goals in Friday night's 8-1 win over the Erie Otters. Chance here for Minchikov, and he shoots, he scores! Minchikov with a snipe and a shorthanded goal. 13 of them on the year for the Spirit. 1. Just because the Spirit are away doesn't mean you can't keep up with all the action. Follow us live as the Spirit broadcasts their games live on 100.5 WSGW. The Spirit return home to the Dow Event Center Friday, March 11th and Saturday, March 12th, taking on the Owen Sound Attack. For tickets, log on to SaginawSpirit.com. With this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Batano.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual and your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. WSGW.
Your source for local news and information in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we return back to our phones. Ed is in Harrison. Ed, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
How are you today?
We're doing well. Hope you are too.
I am all right. Earlier, you had a caller, Scott, that was talking about Afghanistan. You don't hear anything about it? Well, there's something else we're not hearing anything about right now. Our renegotiation with Iran.
Yeah, it's
we're close to having an
agreement.
Coming close to having an agreement, but man, are we getting screwed in the deal?
Well, I don't know. What's the deal? How do you know what the deal is? How do you know what the deal is?
Well, I don't know what the deal is for sure, but some highlights I said I seen on some of the news channels last night about $11 billion for ransom to Iran. They want to have their country taken off the terrorist list.
Yeah, I knew that.
They also want to increase their oil, and we're going to start buying oil from Iran.
Well, what are they giving in return? Out of curiosity, what are they giving in return?
I haven't heard anything what they're giving. They're just taking everything. And Russia sat to the table while we're negotiating with this.
Yep.
So
well,
why is Russia there negotiating when we're negotiating?
Have no idea. Have no idea.
Last night, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is, all this is going on while everything else is going on, but nobody's hearing this part of what's going on in the world.
I wouldn't call that highlights. I'd call them lowlights.
Well,
but I have no idea. I haven't seen much on it, other than the fact there was a news story. I didn't pull it down, but there was a news story that Russia had announced we're close to a deal, and I went, "What?" I remember seeing that headline and going, "What?" So I don't know what to tell you.
Because I got to agree that Ukraine and Russia, that is the topic of the day. But there's other things that are going on too that are going to affect us that we're not hearing about either.
Yeah, I got you. I'll have to look into more.
Anyway.
All right. Good enough, Ed. Hey, appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Our last caller is going to be Jean in Bay City. Jean, good morning.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Look back at history at Hitler when he was first starting out. He broke the treaty at Versailles. And the French, they were so tired of war, they didn't want to get into another war. So they did absolutely nothing. And that's the same with the Allies and all the other free countries. They were so tired of war, and they just didn't want to get involved in another war. So they let Hitler proceed. And you know how that ended up.
Of course, it forced us into war.
What'd you say?
I said it forced us into war.
Yeah. I mean, Putin is exactly like Hitler. If he isn't stopped at the beginning right now, he's not going to stop until he ends up like Hitler did. I think I wish we would have let Ukraine into NATO a long time ago, and perhaps this wouldn't have gotten started. But
perhaps that's unfortunately right now it's nothing more than speculation, because here we are. So we have to face the realities of the day, and Putin is the reality of the day, and he is the most unpredictable reality of the day.
I personally, I don't think he'll stop. I think he'll go.
He might not, but once he reaches a NATO country, I don't see the world sitting still for that. I don't know.
Normal good people always look on the good side of things. If you're a normal good person, it's hard to think like someone evil.
You're correct. You are absolutely right about that. Absolutely right about that.
Well, God bless, and everybody pray for Ukraine. And they got that nuclear power plant. That's really bad.
Well, that was scary. Fortunately, they secured that, but it was a scary strike.
You don't know what Putin could do with that.
Yep.
He's, like you said, he's completely unpredictable. Everybody pray, and
all right.
God bless you, and
thanks,
thanks
Gene,
for your radio program.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. Thanks for your call. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Gene in Bay City will be our last caller this hour, and we will be back.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercial? Stop smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99, and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went, and guess what? It did work for me. My friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works.
Join Mark Patrick seminars for only $49.99 March 8th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City at 5:30 p.m. and 8 p.m.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Healthy life.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
The Ramsey Show, weeknights at 10 on 100.5 and Radio WSGW.
All right, that wraps up the first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We thank you all for participating. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk to Henry Reyna. Henry is now with Habitat for Humanity, going to talk about spring cleanup, a big donation they're getting from Kohler, and lots of other things, all coming up here on the radio. But before we do that, we'll have news from CBS, the National and International Report. We'll have a local report for you, bringing you up to date on the region and the state. And then we'll be back to talk to Henry Reyna.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin in Ukraine with correspondent Charlie D'Agata.
Tracer fire sliced across the sky as Russian firepower took a sinister turn, triggering explosions and alarm after taking aim and opening fire on the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. Ukraine's president called the assault an act of...
New Russian attacks are being waged across the country today. NATO Secretary General calls it horrific and painful to see the human suffering. But Jens Stoltenberg has ruled out a NATO no-fly zone over Ukraine.
We are not going to be part of the conflict with Russia in Ukraine.
Ukraine's central bank governor has just asked the U.S. and the EU to freeze the assets of all Russian banks. An estimated 100,000 Ukrainians are streaming out of their country each day at a refugee camp in Romania. Bravo! Volunteers and emergency services workers surprised a 7-year-old girl with cake and balloons for her birthday. Correspondent Steve Futterman is at the border in Medic.
Arrived today with her young son, glad to be away from the danger she faced in Ukraine. So how do you feel being here?
Here, safe, no explosions, no fires.
And she had one desire, at least for today.
I didn't want to remember this again.
There is hope that refugees will now have an easier way out after Russian and Ukraine officials agreed to what's called a humanitarian corridor.
Employers added a hefty 678,000 new jobs in the U.S. last month. Unemployment ticked down from 4% to 3.8%. But Bankrate's Mark Hamrick says the situation in Ukraine could affect those numbers as war rages on.
Of the job market, even as the economy reopens, as COVID trends relent. Significant additional uncertainty, rising fuel, food, and other commodities costs, along with further complications for global supply chains.
Gas prices in Europe have just hit a new record high of more than 200 euros. Here in the U.S.,
the White House is under increasing pressure to ban oil imports from Russia as gas prices have soared this week, now above $4 a gallon in most places. Adam Dager runs some stores in Fort Wayne, Indiana that sell gas. He says it's been bad for business.
It impacts your inside sales because people are less apt to even come inside because they just, gave their firstborn child.
In some places, gas prices are now topping all-time highs set back in 2008. Some refineries have slightly increased capacity. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The Dow is down 307. This is CBS News.
If cold winter calls have turned into warm spring leads, you need Indeed, the all-in-one platform to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features. To Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hi, it's Rick. I'm at the Smith home. Where's Donnie?
Leaves and autumn bookings pile up for Rick's gutter cleaning service.
He's out? Come on.
He needs help before his bottom line gets clogged.
Okay, well, what about Cristiano? We still got 6 houses.
Hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 26 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Ian Williams. A proposed $2.5 billion tax cut passed by a Republican-led legislature could be dead on arrival to the governor's desk. Here's Charlie Langton with more.
It's a 2.5 tax cut, and it sounds like a good idea, but Governor Whitmer says that's just too much of a cut and fiscally irresponsible. Now, the Michigan legislature is proposing a $2.5 billion tax cut in the form of lowering the state's income tax rate from 4.2% to 3.9% and allowing more retirement income to be tax-free and a $500 tax credit for each dependent child. Now, the governor plans to veto the bill unless the governor and the legislature can work a compromise before the October 1st start of the new fiscal year.
Charlie Langton, Michigan News Network. A woman from Midland was murdered, and the suspect was later found dead from a self in Bay City. Midland police were sent to check on the woman in the 200 block of Redwood Circle just before 8:30 Thursday morning. They found the 26-year-old woman dead from a gunshot wound. After an extensive investigation, a suspect was identified who had been dating the woman. Police got a search warrant for a location in Bay City where they found a 34-year-old man dead from a gunshot wound. Midland police say the names of the victim and suspect are not being released. Anyone with further information is asked to contact the Midland Police Department's Detective Bureau. With CDC recommendations changing to allow most businesses and schools to go maskless, Great Lakes Bay region are following suit. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
Prior to the guideline changes, face coverings were only required on school buses due to federal transportation rules. Both Saginaw Township and Carleton Public Schools dropped their indoor mask mandates earlier this week, but districts like Bay City and Midland say they haven't had one in place for some time. Representatives from Midland Public Schools say the district had put a mandate into effect about 3 weeks into the school year through Christmas break, but had eased off after returning. Bay City School Superintendent Dr. Stephen Bigelow says the district has not had one in place at all this school year, despite at one point having one of the highest case spread percentages in the state. Saginaw Public Schools has had a mask mandate in effect going back to the beginning of the pandemic. Reported only 2 days in total where it had slightly fallen under state funding attendance requirements. The Saginaw School Board will be discussing dropping that requirement, though, at their next board meeting. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSTW News Time coming up on 10:08.
We are all anxiously awaiting the approach of spring. Longer, warmer days, trees budding, perennial flowers blooming, and the return of our state bird, the robin. What we're not looking forward to is rain, flooding, thunderstorms, and of course, power outages. Oh no! No one wants to be caught off guard with a sump pump problem. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can help you plan ahead to avoid a flooded basement. They sell and install primary electric pumps as well as water and battery-powered backup pumps. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can also bring you back to normal from a wet basement with maintenance or replacement of a flooded water heater, furnace, or boiler. Trust the experts with your plumbing and heating mechanical needs in your home. You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, 989-792-8738, or find them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
WSTW News Time coming up on 10:09. After years of fighting to have the Delphi Salaried Retirees Association is hopeful about a new bipartisan bill announced Thursday. Thousands of Delphi retirees lost benefits following General Motors bankruptcy in 2009, After losing in a lawsuit against the U.S. Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation in lower courts, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear the case. The Delphi Salaried Retirees Association Chair Bruce Gump says he's grateful for this bill, introduced by Congressman Dan Kildee of Flint, with the support of legislators on both sides of the aisle.
Salaried workers lost all of our health care and life insurance, and then we saw our earned and fully vested pensions reduced, leading to severe hardship and, in some cases, tragic losses. Thankfully, this bill will help all of those who are left behind. It's been a long 13-year nightmare. It's time for it to end.
There are over 20,000 affected Delphi retirees across the country, including nearly 6,000 in Michigan. State regulators are looking at how utility companies dealt with a series of storms last August that left about 1 million Michiganders without electricity. Jim Matthews reports.
The Michigan Public Service Commission is still collecting information as it reviews how the power companies responded to the severe weather last summer. The storm swept across the lower peninsula in early August with wind gusts over 70 miles per hour. Spread damage to utility poles and lines, with some families having to go without electricity for more than a week. This week saw the commission directing staff to consider filing comments and presentations pertaining to climate change and creating a reporting method for utilities to file updated information on reliability, outages, and storm response. The commission is also looking at outage numbers and restoration times for each month and each storm, and the monthly tree trimming schedules, as well as a host of other issues and data. A final report will be delivered to the governor. Jim Matthews, Michigan News Network.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom 752-0790. It is 10:11. I'm Ann Williams.
Your WSGW Weatherology forecast. We'll see partial sunshine developing here for today with a high into the upper 30s. Winds out of the southwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions and a low around 26. By Saturday, mostly cloudy, high around 55. And on Sunday, cloudy skies, windy, a high around 57 degrees. Monday, we do have a chance for some snow showers coming into the area. Cloudy skies, high 36. Then by Tuesday, sunshine, high around 41 degrees. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 44. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 25.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome on WSGW. Nice to have you with us on the second hour of the program. I'm in my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your commercial and residential real estate needs, let Linda go to work for you by calling her at 989-295-7713 or visit Pinnacle Realty at The Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township. And you will also find Cafe 476 in there with food and beverages. And we're going to welcome an old friend of the program this morning during this hour. He has found himself in a new position, but he, of course, is a retired police officer. He is a safety trainer, but he is now also working for Habitat for Humanity. And we say good morning to Henry Reyna. Henry, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art.
Turn your radio down if it's on. I just want to make sure I don't get. Oh, I know what it is. Studio, you can shut the phone off. Henry's on video. We got him. Yeah. They have you in two places at once. All right. So how long you been now at Habitat for Humanity? It's been fairly recent, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just been a handful of weeks, but shaking up the world over here and getting involved in a lot of different programs that Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat has going on. Just an incredible amount of work that they're doing in the community.
Now, I know I know you're going to be involved because you're not a desk pusher, but you may have to push it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, tell us what your role is at Habitat. Let's start there.
Well, I'm helping them with public relations and driving the work here in the store. I've got a great team working here, getting getting products out to anyone who's looking for building material. And we're taking in a lot of donations and turning it right around and selling it, which helps us do the work that we do.
Right. So I noticed in our communications, you said something about Kohler providing you with a huge donation. What are they giving you?
Well, they're giving us an awful lot. And so at the end of the month, we should have it all in place. But we've got approximately 2 or 3 pallets of different Kohler products, faucets and sinks, and a lot of things that we're going to help people with those projects that they have in mind for the spring. And
so when you turn those products around, you sell them at a price we couldn't find elsewhere.
Oh yeah, it's a substantial discount. So it's typically a third of the price that they would find it at a retail location.
And let's talk about, you mentioned building materials. What kinds of building materials do you have?
Well, we have a lot. Actually, we got a big sale going on, a big spring sale going on. We have all kinds of stick board, so baseboard, casing, crown molding, chair railing, typically sells for $1.50, $1.25 a foot. We're selling it for 25 cents a foot, and we've got a big pile of it. And so, hearing you talk in the previous days about the woes of our society and where the money is at and all the other things, come here and save all your money and take advantage of all the product that we have here on the floor. We're celebrating 35 years of serving Saginaw and Shiawassee this year. Big celebration, the whole year.
Right? Wow.
Yep, 35 years.
Are they going to be building this year?
Well, did you guys get the press release?
I don't know. I didn't, but maybe the station did.
Well, there's another big thing going on. Carmen Mora, the executive director, and I met recently in Farmington Hills with David Friedman of Friedman Real Estate in Farmington Hills, and he made one of the largest donations that Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat has ever received, $1.7 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a big one, Art.
Whoa.
So the answer is yes, we are building. We are going to have a new location. And it's, I think it's almost certain it's going to be in Saginaw Township.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
big news going on.
I mean, it's been a while since they've put up full houses. I mean, they've done a lot of rehab work, but it's been a while since they've had a full-blown construction season, so to speak.
Yeah. So we're doing more than just housing. We're also going to build a new storefront location.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're going to have a new storefront location, and tied into that project, we're going to have housing there as well.
Now, is that when you say new storefront, is that for you, for your guys?
Yep.
You're going to have a new storefront then?
Yep.
No kidding.
Oh,
Wow.
boy, man, we've got it going on. It's blowing up over here.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. So let's talk about the store itself. It's open to the public, right? Anybody can come in and shop the store.
Yep.
Tell them where you're located.
We're located at 3. Let me make sure I got the correct address. 315 West Holland, alongside the river, right next to Panda House.
Yep.
And,
That's good, because that's the location I was going to use.
We have thousands of square feet here in this building. It just wasn't designed for a retail outlet. And we have all kinds of products and office supplies and office equipment and computers. We get so many different donations. Recently, a prominent doctor just retired from service, and he called us up and invited us over, and he pointed to his whole office and said, "Nothing here stays. It all goes with you. Please take it." And so, we left there with a multitude of computers and monitors and desks and chairs and on and on and on. And so we've got it here on our showroom floor and selling it. Matter of fact,
go ahead.
I'm selling a desk. A couple's coming from Rose City. They'll be here at noon, and they bought something online I had on Facebook Marketplace, and they thank me because it's such a great deal and such a great value. And they'll be here shortly to pick that up.
All right, we'll talk more about it. I got to take a break. We're talking to Henry Reyna, and he is with Habitat for Humanity, the Saginaw Shiawassee chapter. We will be back with more after these notes.
Lose the weight guaranteed. Only $49.99 with Mark Patrick Seminars. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Stop smoking with Mark Patrick Seminars. No matter how many times you tried, hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Join us at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City, 5:30, March 8th. Stops p.m. For more information, go to markpatrickseminars.com.
Annette Glenn shares the values of families in mid-Michigan. American Conservative Union ranked Annette's voting record 6th most conservative in the state house. We need Annette fighting for families in the state senate. Paid for by Annette Glenn for state senate.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied. Which, too, the customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need: 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Global investors are looking at crude oil prices at the highest level since 2008 because of expected disruptions caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And there's an encouraging update on the job market. There were 215,000 people filing for unemployment benefits for the first time last week, a decline. The number of continuing claims, those still receiving benefits, rose slightly to 1.4 million. The Labor Department releases the February employment report tomorrow. Mercedes-Benz Group and Volkswagen are stopping Russia. Both say they will stop production of cars there until further notice. BJ's Wholesale Club is reporting a mixed quarter. Its sales increased, but not as much as Wall Street was expecting. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Any supplier can drop a box outside your door. But if you want a partner who delivers great customer service too, rely on Cintas. Your dedicated service reps can deliver what you need to help your business run smoothly. From essential cleaning products to hygienically fire protection services to first aid and safety supplies. That service you can't get from a box.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
You can hear about the cultural contributions and concerns of the Hispanic community in the Great Lakes Bay region on one of WSGW's new. I'm Larry Rodarte, publisher of Mi Gente magazine, and I'm inviting you to join us for Mi Gente On Air Sunday evenings at 8 p.m.
Roenick shoots the puck, scores! Bertuzzi got a stick on it to deflect it home with 20 seconds remaining.
The Red Wings play 6:45 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Henry Reyna from Habitat for Humanity. You talked about social media and putting things online. What kind of sites do you use?
We're keeping it pretty simple. We're just using Facebook Marketplace. A lot of great items up right now there on Marketplace and on our Facebook page as well. 35 years of putting God's action into work in Saginaw, Shiawassee, and recently Bay County is kind of shrinking, and they're not doing pickups, but we're picking up for Bay County now. And so we're serving Shiawassee, Saginaw County, and now we are picking up. So if anyone from Bay City is looking to donate a dishwasher, a dryer, couches, or anything else that would help further our work and the endeavors that we do in the community, we're now servicing Bay County.
This may be speculative, but can you see the day when the Saginaw Shiawassee merges with the Bay?
I'm not. I'm too new to speculate on that, Art. You're going to get me in trouble.
Okay, I won't ask again.
But for those Bay County residents that were, oh my gosh, where do we donate now? Please contact us here in Saginaw County, and we will come and service Bay County.
Yeah, so you will do that.
Yeah.
What kind of hours does the store keep?
Well, currently we're open Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And once we get on the other side of March, we're going to expand those hours to be much more friendly to those people that work 9 to 5. And so we're going to work a little later, a couple of days during the week, and open up on Saturdays as well.
When do you anticipate the new storefront?
Well, we've got a lot of moving parts. We need to dot the I's and cross the T's. Hopefully, I would be very optimistic maybe this time next year, if everything moved together very quickly.
That's going to be in Saginaw?
Saginaw Township, yep.
Saginaw Township?
Yep. Saginaw Township, yep.
All right. All right, so I'm going to, even though you're sitting there, I'm going to take you out of the Habitat for Humanity for just a moment. Are you still doing your safety work?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am doing training and safety and security and firearms as well. Yep.
Now, what are you doing with firearms?
Well, I teach CPL classes. I do private one-on-one consulting. If someone perhaps just possibly want a new gun, I would take them to the range and show them the 102 of the basic fundamentals of safety and security and operating that safely.
Somebody. Good. I'll remember that. If I know somebody, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. In this day and age, Henry, it's a very divisive world we live in. How important is personal protection?
Oh, geez, Pete, I got just a couple of emails yesterday and text messages from people looking at it. It's everywhere. Safety and security is everywhere. And if we're not safe, you're done working. And so safety and security is everything. And everyone is looking at it from real estate people to banks and credit unions and on and on. One of the things I found out working in Saginaw Township when I immersed myself in the community up and down Bay Road, State Street, and Gratiot, that everyone was looking for safety and security advice and help.
Well, Saginaw Township is one of those communities that has a crime prevention unit and offers business services.
Yes.
They did that. They've done that for a long time. They've been blessed with support from the community.
Yes.
Township has that ability, doesn't it?
Yes, they're doing it right. And I've been in jurisdictions across the state of Michigan. Nobody's doing it in the state of Michigan like Saginaw Township is doing it. And, it comes from the top down. Originally it was George Olson, and then later, Rob Gross, and it's from the top down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's worked. I mean,
Yes.
the proof is in the pudding. You'd think it'd be a model for the rest of the country.
Yep. An ounce of prevention is worth a what? Pound of cure.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. We'll quote you on that. Very nice. So let's talk, about, you mentioned, for example, firearms.
Yep.
And is it smart for someone to have a CPL? And what should be the deciding factors if someone has a CPL?
Number one, get the education. And is it smart? Well, that really depends on if you believe in that possible tool. And so I tell people, let's start out from the roadway. Let's look at your home or your business out from the roadway. Let's put crime prevention in place. What's the lighting look like? And do you have motion detectors? So let's look at lighting, motion detectors, and then let's take advantage of the technology that we have now and the blink camera systems or the doorbell camera systems. Let's take advantage of that. Let's use those products because bad guys don't want to be seen. So just those two devices go a long ways. And then once we get to your front door, let's look at barricading devices. And so there's the Brinks barricading bar. They sell that at Walmart for $29.99. And there's another device called the Night Lock. If you go to YouTube and type in Night Lock and Henry Reyna, you'll see a short little video. That's made down in Mount Morris. Some outstanding guys here in mid-Michigan have the Night Lock system in place all over Fortune 500 companies throughout the world. So the Night Lock system is a great system to secure your front and back door. And then let's start looking at tools that you could put in your hand that would make you safer. And so I always like to start off with something like pepper spray or pepper gel. And then you can look at all the other tools, such as a firearm. But
that would be the last resort.
That would be the last tool. But again, before you just run out and go to the gun shop, that is a big mistake because those guys are going to sell the gun that they want to get out of the shop. They're not going to tell you all the ins and outs, or most of them won't. Now, I'm not going to say all of them.
Yeah, I know.
Most will not give you all the bells and whistles. Why would you want this model versus that model? And, the biggest mistake that I've seen people make time after time, the first gun that they buy is a gun with a safety. There's a little button or a lever on the side of the gun that they have to push to activate the gun. And then when I'm looking at this gun, and I will be talking to them about this gun with the safety, and I will tell them that, most wrongdoers, when they attack you, they're going to attack out of surprise. In other words, you're not going to know that it's coming. They're going to scare the heck out of you so badly, you're probably going to lose control of your bodily functions. And in that moment, you won't have the wherewithal to turn the safety on or off. And so now you have a gun that won't function. Why'd you get the gun with the safety? And the answer is, well, I wanted to be safe. Well, now it's a gun that they can't use in a real gunfight or gun battle. And so, in teaching these classes, I would have someone with a gun with a safety. They would go up and they would go on the line to shoot, and they would point the gun toward the target, but it wouldn't function. And then I would have to remind them, remember, you got to turn that safety off. Oh yeah, that's right. And then they turn it off and it functions. Then they come up to the line again to shoot again, and they wave their hand in the air pointing at the target, but the gun won't go off. And the reason it won't go off is because the safety's back on. And so that's in a range when it's calm and relaxed. What's going to happen in a real gunfight or a gun battle?
Yeah. Do they have a purpose though? I mean, for example, in transport.
Well, in most modern handguns, they have built-in safety mechanisms that prevent the gun from going bang. So you could literally take the gun and pound it on a table and it won't go bang because there's little mechanisms inside there that prevent the trigger from being actuated. And so these are the little things that most people aren't told when they go to the gun shop looking at guns. They just, oh, that one's cute. I think I'll take that one. And
you buy a cute, right?
Yeah. And so just before I retired, I had the amazing opportunity to work at Cabela's here in Saginaw. And I was there. I was there at the gun counter for about 2.5 years. And if you were to come in to the counter and I waited on you, I would typically talk with you for an hour to an hour and a half, explaining all the different models and why you'd want this one versus that one, and what does that one do, and how do you take it apart, and on and on and on. And so I wasn't in a hurry to sell anyone a gun. I was just there to give people a lot of great information so they could make the right choice for them and their family.
Yeah. And, I guess It also depends on purpose. I mean, if
Yes.
you're just going to be a target shooter, you don't want,
Yep.
you're not buying it for personal protection. That's one set of circumstances.
So, Art, when I get talking about safety and security, one of the things, and most politicians will cringe. So if there's any politicians listening out there, I can
Cringe now.
Cringe now, because I tell people since 9/11, we don't have more police officers. We have fewer.
Yep.
Some 5,000 fewer police officers. And the same thing goes for firemen and EMS.
Yep.
I was just talking to a chief of police here in one of our communities, and he said that they were waiting on an ambulance to arrive on scene, and it took over 45 minutes, and that rig was coming from Genesee County.
Whoa.
And so when I tell people these numbers, the reason I tell them these numbers is because don't depend on the government for your safety. You get dialed in, you do some things. And gosh darn it, we need to give our emergency responders more money so they can train and do what they need to do.
Yeah, and it's funny how the politicians are coming around to it. Even Joe Biden in his State of the Union address now talked about funding rather than defunding. I mean,
Right.
that was the dumbest. Defunding the police was the dumbest thing I ever heard. I mean, I've been on the Crime Prevention Council since its beginning in the late 90s.
Yep.
And we've heard a lot of dumb things, but never that dumb. I mean, defunding the police was the dumbest.
Our 8 years ago,
it was reactionary.
Yep. 8 years ago, I was in a leadership meeting for law enforcement here in the region, and I started the conversation about training, and that then we were in desperate need of money.
Yep.
And I was told to sit down, and I shouldn't say anything. And later on, I spoke with other people, and I said, well, what I was saying was true. And that's the God's honest truth.
And it's proven it. Hang on, I got to take a break. We're talking to Henry Reyna from Habitat for Humanity, and also a safety training person. More ahead to hear on the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back after these notes.
Spring is right around the corner. Now is the time to look around and plan those home renovations you've been waiting for. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Let our design team help you get your home ready for spring. We are excited to celebrate our 60th anniversary and want you to celebrate with us. Come check out our new flooring, window treatments, and more. Do it. Professional installation from our very own installers. Stop into our showroom on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. Warden Interiors celebrating 60 years. We'll help you bring it all together.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But with Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has always known. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure. Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The Saginaw Spirit play here.
Including D for Forgione. Fires a shot toward goal. Rebound there, scores! Sepulveda with his second of the period.
The Saginaw Spirit continue their weekend Canadian road trip with a stop against the Kitchener Rangers on Friday night. Join for all the live action beginning Friday night at 7:15 on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. And the Spirit are back home next weekend for a pair of games. Visit SaginawSpirit.com for ticket information.
Saginaw Spirit Hockey is on WSGW. This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
We are back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Henry Reyna, now with Habitat for Humanity, as well as a safety trainer. Henry, let's go back to Habitat for Humanity, because there are a number of programs, and I'm not sure everybody knows about them. There is a specific grant program for veterans who need home repair. Do you know much about it? I know you haven't been there very long, but
yeah, so that's the other side of the house, and yes, so veterans are very near and dear to us, and so we're building homes for them, and we're also renovating homes, and that's for everybody in the community, and it's a vetting process that they have to qualify, they have to meet requirements, and on. But when they do, I mean, we take them and embrace them, and we help them either with their home repairs or build them a new house. And it's not just a free giveaway. I mean, they have to qualify, and then they have to work, and they have to earn it. They have to do a lot of volunteering with us as well. But it's a great process, and that's what Saginaw Habitat has been doing for 35 years, embracing the community and helping people with affordable housing.
talk about the way to communicate. Is there a website? Let's start with that.
Yes, we do have a website, and you've got to forgive me. I don't have it right here in front of me.
If they put Habitat for Humanity Saginaw into their search engine, they'll find you.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of programs listed. I mean, you're not just building houses or a restore.
Right.
You're a lot more, aren't you?
Yeah, there is a lot going on, Art, and I was really surprised when I came in the front door and I was showing everything that they do. And the first thing I told Carmen, I said, boy, there's honor in the work that you guys do here, in the work that we do. Now I can say we, and so that's why this is special to me. It works in my heart, because I can see what we're doing.
No, you have to have a passion for that kind of work to do it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you look at the mission statement, and they're doing God's work, you better be in that vein.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really surprised that, we get people. Well, again, I told you the one desk I have listed here on our Facebook page. It's a beautiful oak desk. They're coming from Rose City. The other day I had someone come in from Alma. So our store is really servicing beyond the Great Lakes Bay region.
You can thank social media for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, anyone here in the Great Lakes Bay region, especially if you're in Saginaw Bay County, if there's any donations that you don't have the ability to drop off, we do pickups. And so that's a big deal. We've got a 24-foot cube truck, and we can fit a lot of office supplies, washers, dryers, couches, and tables, and on and on and on. And it helps further our work.
How, if somebody had some donations for you, how would they get in touch with you to tell you about it?
Yep, just call the main office. Just Google and call the main office and let us know that you have a donation or a pickup. Actually, we're booking out 2 to 3 weeks in advance. That's how busy.
That busy then. Well,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah, oh yeah. It's
That's
a process. Yeah.
I mean, I can remember times walking through the Restore and shaking my head at all the stuff that was in there, going, "Where did all this come from?" And then I realized, people modernize, they have things left over, what have you. As long as it's functional.
And the best thing, Art, is it's not ending up in the dump. We're repurposing this stuff, and people are going to be able to continue to use this stuff.
Do you guys also repair some of that stuff that comes into you so you get it ready to sell?
Yeah, so if something's lightly smudged or damaged, we'll give it a little bit of love, but we're not going to spend too much time with it. And there are some things that we won't take. That we're not going to take mattresses and box springs.
Yeah.
We don't take outdated electronics. The older style TVs and that kind of stuff. But if we can, we'll repurpose it and put it here in the store. And boy, it turns over like that.
Yeah, well, that's good, because that's good money for Habitat for Humanity. And money is key, because that's how you get the rest of your good work done.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yep. And it allows us to do our work. Yeah.
All right, hang on. I got to take my last break, and then we'll be back to finish up with Henry Reyna from Habitat for Humanity here on the Art Lewis Show. And it's, let's see, what time is it now? I lost track of time there. 10:47. We'll be back with more.
Sticks, Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Born in Chicago, raised on rock and roll, Tommy Shaw and Sticks. Tickets started now at the Soaring Eagle and Eagles Landing box offices or online at etix.com. Sticks, playing all the hits. Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Get your rock on. Party and play with Sticks at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Sticks, Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialized in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation. Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
It's time to march into fitness with this week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com from the Freeland Sport Zone. You are going to get half off of a 1-year adult membership. It's only going to be $142. You can also get half off of a 1-year family membership for only $252. These deals are for new members only. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll has to do with the parents of the accused Oxford school shooter. With that new development now in the case is the parents, James and Jennifer Crumbly, are being ordered to stand at trial facing involuntary manslaughter charges. Prosecutors argue the parents were distracted and unconcerned as their son's disturbing behavior escalated and purchased their son a handgun as a Christmas gift, which he used in the shooting tragedy. Defense attorneys countered the just friends. He was trying to hide his troubles from his parents, and furthermore, that the couple could never have predicted their son would commit a mass shooting. The whole question, based on what you have heard, and you have read, and you have seen regarding the Oxford school shooting, should the parents face involuntary manslaughter charges? It's a yes, it's a no, it's an I'm not sure. It's a poll that you can voice your opinion by making a vote, going to WSW.com, scrolling down the homepage, and finding the poll box.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, it's the Friday Five. This one's for the ladies. Sometimes you're like repellent to the ladies. Sometimes I hold the door and other times I close it.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
We're back with Henry Reyna, who now works for Habitat for Humanity, doing public relations and the Restore operation. He's also, though, the owner of Secure Solution, and that's personal safety training for all kinds of things. Henry, I have to ask this about, Secure Solutions and where we are today. Having recently seen the paperwork and filled out paperwork for purchase of a handgun. There's all kinds of questions. Are you a felon? Did you do this, that, the other thing? Nowhere on there does it ask about your mental health. And in no way can they find out about your mental health because of HIPAA. Is that going to change? Does it have to change?
Well, oh boy, that's a deep rabbit hole, Art, man. Mental health, that's 25% of our society has some type of mental health issue. A great deal of my 30 plus years of responding to emergencies had to deal with somebody with some type of mental health crisis. That's a big problem. That is a true big problem. But when it comes to listening to the radio when we were off, talking about questions about the Oxford incident and people having access to firearms and the new laws that are being legislated to, curtail firearms being just unsecure. That's not right. And I heard a national speaker talk about this, and they were saying the number one cause of death for children between the ages of 0 and 19 are unsecured firearms.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that, and so you think about falling off your bike, falling off your skateboard, getting hit by a car, all the things that you could be possibly injured. It's the number one cause of injury and death to children between those ages is firearms. Oh my gosh, we've got to fix that. And so as adults, we've got to be responsible for our tools. And one of the things I said to you earlier, if you're going to have a tool like that in your household, get the training. Go get the training. Figure out what you don't know. Training is huge.
Yeah, and there's a lot we don't know.
Yeah,
especially for a first-time owner, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk again. Habitat for Humanity. You can go to their website and Secure Solution. If you want to know more about Henry, you can go to his website. And listen, I'm glad you found something you have a passion for, because I knew about it, and I hope you do well there. I know
Yes.
you'll do
Again, we're located at 315 West Holland, which is just around the corner from Covenant Medical Hospital. And our store number, I got it, 989-754-9435 for those pickups. If anyone wants to donate anything. And don't forget about all the wonderful items that we have for sale here that will help you with your spring cleanups and all those spring projects.
When are you going to get some of that Kohler stuff in?
It should be the end of the month. So probably the last week of March. If anyone wants anything real snazzy from Kohler, we're going to have lots of
high-end good stuff.
Yeah.
That's a neat donation. How much?
2 to 3 pallets.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of faucets and
Yeah,
sinks.
that's a lot of faucets and sinks. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And Secure Solutions, they can find you online.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Henry,
Thank
always
you,
a
Art.
pleasure, my friend.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch.
Yes. Later this month.
Take care.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Henry Reyna, he is with Habitat for Humanity, Saginaw Shiawassee branch. He is now doing public relations for them and also at the Restore. And he has his own company too, Secure Solutions, if you're interested in firearms training or personal protection, things of that nature, active shooter training. He has all of those for you. We will take a break, come back and close out. And we were talking about firearms. Field and Stream Club is going to be focused on Focus coming up in just a little bit.
As a Blue Cross Medicare member, you can expect access to care as soon as you need it. You can schedule appointments for checkups or routine care at a time that's convenient for you. You can also call our customer service team to ask for information and get the help you need. With Blue Cross, it's easy to get the care, tests, or treatment you need whenever you need them. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit bcbsm.com/senior options.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help retiring easier and empower your retirement. They talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs, when your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialize in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the midnight.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
find a hidden gem, or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We thank you for joining us. Coming up, Focus, and we're going to focus on the Saginaw Field and Stream Club. David Anderson, a past president and director of the club, will be with us to tell us what's happening at Field and Stream Club. That is all ahead. After the news from CBS, the national and international report, the local news will be following that. And then we will be back with Focus here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. The U.S. Supreme Court has just reinstated the death sentence for Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. Legal scholar Jessica Levinson.
What the court said is everybody's entitled to a fair trial, and he actually got one. So they vacated the lower court decision that tossed out the death sentence. They said that the lower court was wrong to say that the death sentence could not be imposed, and therefore the Boston bomber's death sentence now is reinstated. He will be put to death.
Now to Ukraine, where CBS's Charlie D'Agata has the latest on the big nuclear power plant that was attacked and seized by Russian forces, caught fire, and is now considered stable.
It provides more than a fifth of Ukraine's energy needs, and it's now under Russian control. The new IAEA released a statement saying that the safety systems of the reactors have not been affected. There's been no release of radioactive material, and most importantly, the monitoring systems are fully functional. Ukraine's president called attacking and seizing that plant an act of nuclear terror.
For now, at least, the West is rejecting calls for a no-fly zone to be established over Ukraine. NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg.
And our assessment is that we understand the desperation, but we also believe that if we did that, we'll end up with something that could end in a full-fledged war in Europe, involving many more countries.
In Germany, Berlin taking in refugees from Ukraine as they arrive by train from Poland.
We have accepted in the last 24 hours over 20 families. We are expecting in the next 3 to 4 days, at least another 100 families coming here.
A chaotic scene today in Peshawar, Pakistan. After a bomb blast at a mosque killed more than 50 people and injured scores of others, there's been no claim of responsibility. The government says 678,000 jobs were created last month, and the unemployment rate fell to 3.8%. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The report does show that the labor market and is largely back to where it was 2 years ago before COVID hit.
Pay rose just slightly last month, but increased 5.1% over the past year. The Major League Baseball Players Association says it's launched a $1 million fund to help stadium workers who were impacted by the continuing lockout. Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 495 points, NASDAQ down 268. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
So from the Wsgw Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront, Saginaw. Come warm up inside with our small businesses ready to serve you. From global flavors like Falafel Hut, Saigon Sandwich, and some Louisiana flair with Creole Queens, to American favorites like Divine Taste of Chicago, Macon Bacon, and now open Big O Burger and Barbecue. Get delicious treats with Delicious Sweets Bake Shop, Craven Cookies, and Mini Donut Delight Factory. Need a gift? Shop at Purple Sage Bead Store, Flowers by Romans, and coming soon, we welcome Thrive Creations. Warm up inside the SVRC Marketplace, open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Need a rental space? Check out the Marketplace. Events. Have a small business you'd like to share with the community? Mark those calendars as we get ready for our Think Spring Makers Market on May 7th. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we will see you at the market.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 26 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Ian Williams. Police in Midland are investigating the death of a 26-year-old woman. They were sent to the 200 block of Redwood Circle just before 8:30 yesterday morning, where they discovered the body of the woman who was earlier reported missing by a family member. Police were able to determine a suspect, a 34-year-old Bay City man. A search warrant was served at the address for the man, but police found him dead as well. Inflicted gunshot wound. If you have any information about either incident, call the Midland Police. Many want to blame politicians for skyrocketing gas prices, but industry analysts say it's not them. Patrick DeHaan is head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. He says the cause is actually production slowdowns of oil companies originating at the start of the pandemic that have yet to return to normal business.
They peeled back production. Boy, letting thousands of workers go and shutting down millions of barrels a day of oil production. Who would have thought that that would have hurt us so bad? Well, until the economy largely reopened and Americans hit the road. And that's where this imbalance came from, is that oil companies made long-term decisions and oil demand only went down for the short term.
He says the Ukraine-Russia conflict is to blame for the most recent spike. Congressman Dan Kildee has introduced a bipartisan bill to restore retirement benefits to over 20,000 Delphi salaried retirees. The U.S. Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation cut retirement benefits by as much as 70% after General Motors filed for bankruptcy during the Great Recession. Kildee was joined of the aisle in announcing the legislation.
We don't always agree on everything here in this town, but I'm glad we came together on this, because we're going to do everything we can to do what's right for the Delphi salaried retirees. It's been a long time coming, and I appreciate this partnership.
The legislation is named the Susan Muffley Act after the wife of a Delphi retiree who was active in pension restoration efforts. She died of pancreatic cancer in 2012 after having delayed seeing a doctor due to financial difficulties brought on by the loss of benefits. Kildee said if it passes, the bill would make up the difference between the pension benefits earned by Delphi salaried retirees and what they received following the GM bankruptcy in 2006% in a lump sum payment. They would then receive their full benefit amount moving forward. WSGW News Time coming up on 11:07.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved.
Join Mark Patrick seminars for only $49.99 March 8th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City at 5:30 p.m. and 8 p.m.
It's time to think of, the propane tank in your backyard that heats your home. Well, there's no better company to fill your pig than Forward Energy, covering 23 counties. Forward Energy is a family-owned and operated propane supplier that's been fueling area homes, farms, and businesses since 1925. Fill your pig this year. Visit forwardenergy.com to find out about new customer pricing and programs.
Go forward with Forward Energy.
WSGW News Time coming up on 11:09. Some schools across the Great Lakes Bay region are dropping their indoor face covering policies after recent CDC guideline changes. WSGW's
Earlier this week, schools in Carlton and Saginaw Townships shared they would be dropping their indoor mask requirements, including at sporting events, on school buses, and other active areas. Both have recommended that anyone who feels uncomfortable going without a mask to continue doing so. Other districts in the area have either not had mask mandates leading up to the recent CDC changes or will be sticking with one for now. Saginaw has had a mask mandate in effect going back to the beginning of the pandemic. This school year, the 2 days in total where it had slightly fallen under state funding attendance requirements. The district's Board of Education will be discussing dropping that requirement, though, at their next meeting. Districts that had dropped the requirement prior to the CDC recommendation include both Midland and Bay City Public Schools. Midland did have a summer surge and leading up to Christmas break. Superintendent Dr. Stephen Bigelow with Bay City, on the other hand, says that despite the district at one point having one of the highest case transmission rates in the state, it didn't want one at all outside of previous federal requirements. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
face masks will be optional for U.S. union auto workers as long as their factories are in counties that are not at high risk for the novel coronavirus. A task force of officials from Ford, General Motors, Stellantis, and the United Auto Workers Union decided to drop a mask requirement at a meeting on Thursday. The union says in a statement that the group decided to follow Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines in making masks optional regardless. Automakers will tell workers when the changes are effective at their plants. More than 150,000 workers represented by the UAW began wearing masks at work in May 2020 when factories reopened after an 8-week shutdown at the start of the pandemic. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom, 752-0790. It's 11:11. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. We'll see partial sunshine developing here for today with a high into the upper 30s. Winds out of the southwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions and a low around 20. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high around 55. And on Sunday, cloudy skies, windy, a high around 57 degrees. Monday, we do have a chance for some snow showers coming into the area. Cloudy skies, high 36. Then by Tuesday, sunshine, high around 41 degrees. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 44. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 31.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5. News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW, sponsored by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax, and remember that's spelled with 2 X's. I'm Art Lewis from my Saginaw Spirit Home Studio, and today on Focus, we're going to focus on the Saginaw Field and Stream Club. And with us, former president and director of the club, we say good morning to David Anderson. David, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Art. How are you?
Hey, we're doing well. It's going to be an unusual morning for David. He's also, of course, with Baird and Company, so he's going to hang around and do the market report for us, too. So let's talk, first of all, if you know it, a little bit of history of the Saginaw Field and Stream Club.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us on today, Art, and looking forward to share what we do here with the community. So Saginaw Field and Stream was founded September 2nd, 1916 as Saginaw Forest and Stream Club.
Wow.
That
old?
Yeah.
That's 105 years, 106 years now?
Yeah.
Wow.
And now I was not a charter member, but I've been there for about a decade now. And in 1923 to Saginaw Field and Stream Club, we are a charter member of Michigan United Conservation Clubs, and that occurred in 1937. Michigan United Conservation Clubs, MUCC, is the largest statewide conservation organization in the nation. And their mission is uniting citizens to conserve, protect, and enhance Michigan's natural resources and outdoor heritage. And so we're proud to have that as a focus for what we do. Currently, we're located at 1296 North Gleaner. And we've got a beautiful 155-acre facility, and we've been there since 1956.
So we talk about a facility. What kinds of activities are housed on the facilities?
Great question. So on 155 acres, there's a little bit of everything for someone. And so we've got indoor archery. We have a trap, skeet, and wobble fields. We have a 100-yard range, a 50-yard range, a 10-yard range, 6 action bays, a cowboy village, a man-made lake, trails, and a beautiful clubhouse. So we've got a lot to offer.
All right, wait. What in the world is a cowboy village?
Yeah, so we are part of the Single Action Shooting Society, which is known as Cowboy Action. And so we have people that dress up like they were in that era. So they'll be using lever action rifles and revolvers and things like that, and they shoot competitions. And so we've got a village that was built by our members that looks like, old saloon and
no kidding.
Old stable and stuff like that. Yeah, beautiful.
Wow. So let's talk about the types of membership. Who joins?
Yeah, anybody who wants to improve the environment. And so, people typically think of conservation as people like, I know my first image was someone chaining themselves to a tree or something like that, but conservation comes in all forms. And so we do cleanup, we do tree plantings, MUCC, they have on the water and on the ground where we're doing environmental improvement projects. And so anybody that wants to make an impact that way, but then also the other avenue of conservation is the marksmanship. And so teaching youth about safe handling of firearms, archery, how to hunt, how to fish, those sorts of membership. We have 2 types. We have a general and an associate. A general membership is for anybody 17 years and older. It's a $35 initiation fee, $70 for the annual dues. 65 of that goes to Saginaw Field and Stream. The other 5 goes to MUCC. An associate membership is for any immediate family member living in the same household as a general member. That is $35 a year, and they get use of the club and half a vote.
Half a what? Oh, half a vote.
Half a vote on club affairs. So.
All right, we'll talk more about joining and membership when we return. I'm going to take a break. We're talking to David Anderson, past president and director of the Saginaw Field and Stream Club. More ahead.
Where in Saginaw is looking for a cashier. If you are friendly, like to work with people, and can handle money, this opportunity is for you. Experience is not necessary. You must be prompt, dependable, and willing to assist shoppers. For an opportunity to fill this rewarding position at one of this area's oldest, highly respected hardware and service shops, bring a resume and apply in person to Dave or Tammy at 5818 State Street, Saginaw, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Part-time or full-time positions start now. Woolfiles Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, is an equal opportunity employer.
What makes a great boat show? The largest selection in Michigan. That's right. It's time for Spicer's huge boat show and sale, and we have the best inventory in Michigan. Over 300 Mercury-powered boats in stock from 15 different manufacturers. You heard right. Over 300. There's no inventory shortage here at Spicer's. Come see the boats, pontoons, and speedboats. Like this must-see Sylvan S3 dual console pontoon. Loaded up with a huge 300 horsepower Mercury and every option you can possibly imagine. Or the brand new 4 Winds H4 with incredible luxury styling. Huge boat show savings, extended warranties, free gear, and more. The largest selection of boats in Michigan at Spicer's huge boat show and sale, starting this weekend at Michigan's Destination Fun, Spicer's Boat City, N55 and Houghton Lake.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
Back with you on Focus, talking to David Anderson from the Saginaw Field and Stream Club. So, David, if someone is interested in membership, what do they do? Whoop, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay.
If somebody's interested in membership, what do they need to do?
Yeah, they can come out to our clubhouse on Tuesday afternoon around 5 o'clock, or on Saturdays beginning at around 9, and they can do an application there. In order to actually join, you do need to attend a new member orientation course, and that is the third Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m., and so they could take care of everything right then.
And is there a website?
Yep, we do have a website. It is www.saginawfieldandstream.com, and there's additional information about memberships and club events and things like that there.
So let's talk about the facilities when you join the club. For example, the ranges. Are there reservation times, or you just come out and shoot?
No, that is one of the beautiful things about being a member at Field and Stream, is that our ranges are basically they're open the same as shooting hours. So basically you think dawn until dusk, you can be out there and shooting. And based on the number of ranges that we have, you very seldom will see a conflict where you're unable to shoot. And that is thanks to a big renovation that was recently completed, actually just last year.
All right, let's talk about the social side of this. Are there events throughout the year, dinners or things of that nature?
Absolutely. So every third Thursday of the month, September through May, we hold a membership meeting. This coming up one is going to be March 17th. And we actually have a world champion and 4-time gold medalist, Paul Phillips, coming to talk to us about long distance shooting. Those events vary. We had the Bear Man come in. That is an archer who was hunting up in the mountains in Canada and was attacked by a grizzly bear, and just lots of different conservation topics. We'll have the DNR and things like that come in.
And the club hours, for people to use the club, what are the hours?
Yeah, so members can come and go as they please with their gate cards. And we late at night to hike and things like that, even after the shooting hours end. So once you have a membership, it's pretty much 24/7, depending on what you want to do.
And shooting hours, I imagine, depend on daylight, right?
Correct.
What types of, when you talk about shooting hours, what types of weapons are allowed? What types are not?
Basically the only restrictions we have are for things that would increase the rate of fire beyond what's normal. So like bump stocks, automatic weapons, things like that. But if you're talking just, calibers, we actually allow anything from a air gun up to a 50 caliber BMG out there.
All right. So again, give everybody the website.
Yeah, it's www.saginawfieldandstream.com.
All right. Don't go anywhere, David. I want to talk to you about the marketplace. So hang in there. And we will be back with talking to David Anderson. You'll hear him on the Baird & Company report in just a couple of moments. But he's also the past president and director of Saginaw Field and Stream. And we will be back to close out this edition of Focus and then move on to the market after these notes.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a